So, disappointing result tonight. Arsenal drew at home with Slavia Prague, 1-apiece. Lackluster, limp, predictable. And we're going to get into player ratings.
Hey, before you say, don't say predictable. The reason why you can't say it, apparently, certain people, you know, the usual on social media are thinking that people who want Arteta out are reveling in it, and we're not allowed to have a meltdown about the performance. You know, it's so, and I'm thinking, well, hang on it. You've got every right to back this manager if you don't want to back him. But I'm sorry. You know, what if it happens occasionally, like Chelsea losing 5-2 against West Brom, you can give too short by. But we've had a lot of defeats like this where it keeps on happening. And I'm going to reflect it on my player ratings. You don't even worry about that.
Let's start. Let's get into it. It sounds juicy. Let's start with Bernd Leno.
A lot better than his previous performances. You know, a lot of people are blaming him for the goal, but really and truly, he didn't have a chance in hell for that goal. His kicking was okay, made a few good saves. I'm going to give him a 6.
Let's move to right back. We played Hector Bellerin. Obviously, Callum Chambers wasn't even in the squad. Cedric was at left back. We'll come to him in a short while. Hector Bellerin.
Well, Hector, believe it or not, he didn't do anything wrong defensively. But when you're at home against Slavia Prague, you want him to at least cross the halfway line.
Yeah.
And I don't remember him getting across the halfway line. He basically exemplified how he played in the first 30 minutes. In fear, scared of what was going to happen, confused. You know, he looked confused, but he thought, let me just play safety first and let me just make sure I look after myself and my game. So in that respect, you've got to give him a 6.
Yeah, I actually thought he was one of our best players, if I'm being honest. Let's move on to Cedric, left back. He's a right back playing left back. Obviously, Kieran Tierney's out for 4 to 6 weeks. So we'll see you next season, mate, because we know he ain't coming back this season. But what did you make to Cedric tonight?
Well, the thing with Cedric is that he did what I wanted Bellerin to do. A right footer in a left footed position. But who was putting the crosses over? An excellent cross for Rob Holding, put over the bar. He did his defensive work very well. I was quite impressed with him. I'm giving him a 7 because, again, not a fault. He did his job properly and he tried to affect the game in the attacking sense.
Gabriel?
Well, Gabriel didn't do too badly. He won his battles. He defended well. You know, he wasn't that great on the ball, but credit where credit's due. I'm giving him a 6.
Rob Holding, he's been back in the team for the last couple of games, and that partnership with Bellerin has been pretty calamitous all season. But tonight, I actually thought both of them did all right, if I'm being honest.
Well, Rob was solid today, and he would have been very unlucky, to get his head tipped over the bar. Although he did something I didn't like when he had a great cross. Just attack the ball, mate. You didn't have time to trap it. You missed your trap anyway. That's where I criticise him. Defensively, didn't do much wrong. A bit steady. Did some really good interceptions. Tried to take, do an Alan Hansen, take the ball out. I thought he played well, played okay. 6. I've done Mark Harley, do I?
Let's move into midfield. Let's go with the much maligned Granit Xhaka.
Granit did okay today. Granit didn't put a foot wrong. There's nothing about his game where I think, you didn't do this right. He was what he was in a 10. I'm going to give him a 7. He played actually quite well. He was understated, won the ball, created situations where he won fouls for us, did his job. But, again, when you look at Granit Xhaka, you get steady Eddie. But Arsenal's not about steady Eddie, is it? But, good performance.
Let's move on to Thomas Partey.
Thomas is a bit of a mixed bag for me, especially in this game. There are things, I know a lot of people criticising Thomas and saying he's been poor for a long time. But, Thomas did try to affect both ends of the pitch. He worked his nuts off. He had a shot where, he opened his face out. He tried to create chances. I think people are criticising Thomas because that pass horrendous pass which went off the pitch. He didn't get in. But I'm going to give him a 6 because he did he did try to work his nuts off.
Let's move on to. Let's go right wing. Let's go with Bukayo Saka. He obviously pulled out the England squad. He wasn't played at the weekend, and tonight. I don't know. He just looked like he's been overplayed to me. But what did you make of him?
Well, the thing about Saka is that he has been overplayed, and he definitely was knackered when he came off. But he was the go-to man, and he was the man who was trying to get us off our asses, and he was trying to create chances. He tried to get behind and check the fence. And let's face it, with his weaker foot, right foot, it wasn't a situation where you start. He was positive, and he put some good balls in, which we hadn't finished. His finishing for that chance wasn't good enough. He deserves, like I said, to work on his finishing, probably extra lessons in finishing. But in terms of performance, up until we went off, he was okay. I'll give him a 7.
Opposite sides, we had Willian.
Willian is very much maligned, but you look at how Willian played. He worked his nuts off, but the problem is that it wasn't to any avail. Yes, he put his share of crosses in, hit the post, tried to keep going stuck for neck. But again, we're not seeing those sort of performances we get at Chelsea. Like the odd 8, then where he goes from 8 out of 10 performances to stroke 9 to about 4 or 5. We've seen a lot of 4 or 5s and maybe the odd 6, and that's what I'm going to give him today, a 6. He wasn't playing badly, but again, not well enough to win the game.
Emil Smith-Rowe
struggled, absolutely struggled, but a lot of that was to do with us, because what was happening is that there wasn't any movement for him, there wasn't any running of the ball, and he had to do a lot of times where he got overpowered by the defenders. And I thought offensively, I didn't see a situation where he changed the tempo like he does in really good. Probably he's another one who's probably burnt out as well. I'm going to give him a 5. It wasn't a good game for him.
Let's move on to Alexandre Lacazette. Missed an absolute sitter of an opportunity. He done so well to nick the ball. He's clean through. You're thinking, just slot it away. None of us were confident he'd do that, and obviously he didn't do that. But overall, what did you make of his performance? Frustrated because he did things I didn't like. I mean, he's the sort of player, right? He's the sort of player that you've got a centre forward who wants to be the best crosser of the ball. You want a centre forward who wants to be a number 9, number 10, Peter Beardsley style, maybe. Chooses whoever you want as a number 10. But hang on here. He's doing a number 10 role, but hang on here. He's creating chances for him for a forward where he should be. So when crosses come in, he's not getting on the end of crosses. And then when he does get in the end of crosses, he's not taking his chance to put it over the bar. But that chance was horrendous, really. It's horrendous. And it started in malaise. And he actually, if people were nasty at it, they could think, well, hang on, that contributed to us the score like today. He was one of the guilty party, but that chance is horrendous. You've got to put it away. That's a game changer, a tide changer. It's only half time. And if we don't prevail next week, then people would look at the amount of chances we missed today. And he's one of them. I can't give him anything higher than a 5. I really can't. Some people give him a 4, maybe a 3, but I think that's going to be harsh. Because you've got to look at his whole game overall and his work rate. And that's why chance conversion, it's a 5 for me. Let's move on to substitutes. Gabriel Martinelli is alive and well. Came on.
Yeah, I think with Gabby, he's very raw. There's just loads of things loads of rough edges that need to be ironed out before he gets a regular start, in my opinion. But today, he created an energy, a bit of pace, a bit of panic. It was like he's the sort of person who instead of when you put the oven on a medium, he turned it full heat, and that's what got us back in the game. And I was quite impressed. I'll give him a 6.
Let's go to Aubameyang. Got the assist, if you want to call it that, for the Pepe goal.
I was very pleased with him. Very pleased with his application. Well, I'm not too funny. He did, after his performances at West Ham away and at Liverpool, last week. He'll have to have some sort of improvement. And let's face it, there was no arguments from me when he was left out the starting lineup. But he did get himself in a box, missed a chance that he normally puts away, but was very, very, like Callum, aggressive when the ball bounced, managed to beat his man, and then set Pepe up, perfectly weighted pass, took the defender out of it. And, for that, he did affect the game. I'm giving him a 6.
Let's move on to Pepe. Scored the goal, which we probably shouldn't have been so stupid enough to think was the winning goal. But he looked lively when he come on. What did you make of him?
Pepe again. He's one of the persons I think who benefit from Gabriel's sparky nature on the football pitch, where it created space. And I thought Pepe looked sharp. He looked dangerous. He confused the defenders. Like I said, used his pace, and that goal was just fantastic. Good finish. However, in defensive areas, sometimes when forwards are paid to, like I said, to attack, they're not paid to defend. And defensively, he panicked when the ball came over. He knew that we need to go in with a clean sheet. And when you panic, guess what happens? Not only do you make a hash of the clearance, you play it into an area where he got an overload on the far post, and that's when LS scored. Not his fault, but then again, he really needs to be able to, when he defends, make sure he defends on the right towards the opposition's goal rather than towards our goal. Because the minute you defend towards our goal, you've had it. So that's for me.
What score did you give him?
I'm going to give Pepe a 6.
Let's move on to Mohamed Elneny.
Mohamed Elneny didn't really. He's a steady Eddie type. Another one, it's what it is on a tin. They're not going to win your games, not going to lose your games. And today, I just give him a 5. He didn't really affect the game in any way, but he kept things tidy at the back inside his midfield after Partey went off, and that's what he was there to do: keep things tidy.
Who else came on?
Mari came on. Pablo Mari,
yes.
Mari. Well, Mari came on, and really truly, it was one of those, like I said, normal substitutions. Like where you're winning, you want to manage the game out in a negative way, and sometimes they work, and sometimes it didn't. Today it didn't work. Extra man in defence, still considered a late goal. I'll give him a 4, but not because he didn't play well. He just didn't have enough minutes to do anything. We still conceded when he came on.
Let's move on to the manager. Big talk.
Very interesting one.
Big talk after the Liverpool game. He blamed himself. Big talk in his press conference after that game, where he said Thursday we'll be ready. You'll see the reaction. Big talk in his press conference before this game, saying I've seen a reaction in training. What do you make of his overall performance tonight?
Well, I think what's happened is you've got a manager who's telling the fans what they want to hear. Oh, it's all my fault and blah blah. Yeah, we're going to get much better. Yeah, what do you want us to do? Give you marks out of 10 for honesty? The fact of the matter is that he's now learning the hard way that the tail wags the dog, not the other way around. Yeah. So if a player plays crap, and sorry if there's kids watching, you've got to tell them that they're playing well, because you're going to get people on side. Bit too late though, isn't it, mate? Because you're in a really bad position. Your tactics, whatever they were, confused the hell out of the players and contributed towards this situation where for the first half an hour of the game, we allowed the Czechs to settle, and then afterwards the players created chances, and they take part of the blame. But in terms of your team selection, you got it right with Aubameyang. It's a big decision, but in terms of like today, you did contribute towards our defeat because of the way you set the players up and gave them unclear instructions. So for me, you're part of this, and you're getting a 5. That's what you're getting, a 5. I know people are going to. I'm not blaming you for teams missing chances, but you're not getting out of this, mate. You selected this team and you set up the pattern of play, and you put these players in these positions, and And you should be able to tell them when they're at home against Prague, yes, European football, you have to be, like stingy. You've got to be like very tidy in possession. But there's a time when you need to, when the time's right, to get your tempo right. And he fluffed his chances. And that's why he's getting a 5.
You've been very, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, ambitious with your player ratings. It's lucky it's your player ratings and not mine, because
I hear what you're saying. But if you ask anyone, what did we do right? Did we create a lot of chances? Yes, we did, which means we're doing something right offensively. Did we really concede many chances? We didn't. So in that respect, that's why I've given these ratings, because it wasn't catastrophic like West Ham and Liverpool, but you're looking at the fact that it's Slavia Prague, a team, in your opinion, we should be beaten because we're the Arsenal, and it didn't come off well. So your player ratings will be very low because we should be putting teams like that away. I read your mind, haven't I?
100%. Listen, we'll talk more about this on the podcast tomorrow at 5 p.m.
Definitely.
Thank you for coming, or later on today, because I'm going to put this out tomorrow.
Don't worry about it.
At 5 p.m. But thank you, Kenny. Listen, always a pleasure speaking to you. We'll speak more. We'll dissect this more, and appreciate you giving up your time, mate. Thank you.
Well, I've got one more thing to say. Time is not on your side, Mikel. You are digging your own.
It's time to go. That's what we need to say. It's time to go, mate.
Well, let's just wait until we have something to really get our meeting. But let's hope it doesn't happen, because Arsenal comes first.
Of course.
But remember, but at the end of the day, mate, you've got this golden opportunity and you're blowing it.
100%. Listen, Kenny, thank you very much, man.
No props.